Most of you are probably here to listen to the answer to this one question. Should you pull for Enigma? The short answer is yes. Alright, video's over. Have a nice rest of your day, and peace. The long answer is that while Enigma isn't as versatile as Marcia, hence the video title, having most of his buffs and a bit of his sustainability tied to Dynamo team members and not being able to play it in teams where other arrays are necessary, such as Blood Teeth or Plant Promptu. Even still, he will provide guaranteed value for your team if you pull for him, even if we aren't able to see that far into the future now that global patches are catching up with the Chinese ones. Let's first get into what Enigma does. As with every Dynamo character, his precognition gives him Amplified Surge, which provides him with a unique set of buffs depending on the pulsing field level. First, under pulsing field level 3, as well as entering battle and through his skill 1, he will grant a certain amount of Cypher Text stacks to all teammates. Additionally, while under pulsing field level 3, all allies get an Incantation Might bonus based off how many Dynamo stacks they currently hold. Additionally, reality damage characters get an insane amount of extra scaling for their attacks, depending on the number of Dynamo stacks they hold once again, while mental damage characters will get a considerably smaller boost due to their Incantation Might instead. Extra scaling is a lot better than some more Incantation Might, so you really want to play him with reality damage characters in other Dynamo units, such as Lucy and Ulrich. Let's discuss the shielding next, a new mechanic that might confuse some players. Instead of putting one shield on all of your individual allies, Enigma instead applies a shield that takes damage for all of your on-field allies, scaling off his attack stat and can stack up to Enigma's attack times 1250%. It's not as high as Marcia's total scaling of 650% attack on each ally, which is like 2700% scaling, but it's insane nonetheless, especially considering how often he refreshes and stacks it. Also, the first 4 control statuses applied on all allies each round are completely negated. This means that you can either resist 4 distinct applications on one ally, or 1 distinct application of a control status onto all 4 allies at the same time, or so on. If we take a look at his Inside 3 effect, he also applies 30% damage reduction to all allies as long as he holds Bastion and for 1 round after as well as the fact that if more allies take damage at the same time, the more damage each point of Bastion actually negates. Now, his Inside 1 is where the majority of his shielding comes from, and how you can basically play him AFK. Every time an ally actively performs an action, follow-up attacks don't count, he will gain 1 stack of Loop Chain, up to 9 stacks, and whenever he has at least 5 stacks of Loop Chain, he'll consume 5 of those stacks to perform a mass follow-up attack that stacks more shield and grants Cypher Text to allies, but more on Cypher Text in just a second. The follow-up attack itself doesn't really do much damage, having only 200% scaling, but its main focus is the fact that it stacks shield as well as providing 1 extra Moxie for him, which makes his ult cycling really fast. Cypher Text is his own unique status, which makes it so that whenever allies transfer Dynamo into the pulsing array, the amount of Dynamo transferred is then increased by the number of Cypher Text stacks on them, which is then consumed afterwards. I've tested it out, and it basically means that you can get pulsing field level 3 in just 1 round after the battle starts, which is insane. His ult dispels all negative debuff statuses on all of your allies, grants himself 5 stacks of Loop Chain, which means that he immediately performs a follow-up attack, then grants himself the Cypher Machine status for 2 rounds. What Cypher Machine does is that while he holds it, he grants all allies a 20% critical damage boost, similar to Marcia, and for each stack of Cypher Text that you've transferred so far, up to 30, he grants all allies a 2% damage boost, which means that you can get a total of 60% damage bonus from this ult effect. This wide range of buffs that Enigma gives means that you'll never really have too much of one buff type, which will lead to diminishing returns. His skill 2 doesn't really do much, it just stacks some more shields, which can be useful in a pinch for harder boss fights, but you likely won't need it outside of Revu's and Main's Bulletin at all, considering how much shield he gets just from his passive effects. Here's a list of all the buffs that Enigma provides on screen right now at P0. Of course, we can't be playing gacha games without discussing character dupes. Here's my TLDR. You don't really need any portraits for Enigma. His P1 is super strong, but it's not really necessary, and he's good enough at P0. If you're interested in pulling for portraits though, here's a quick rundown of them. His P1 first increases the number of control resist applications from 4 to 6 per round, which can be good against some fights that are CC heavy, as well as increasing dynamo stack limits on allies, and increasing the duration of Cypher Machine from 2 rounds to 3, which increases rotation flexibility. Finally, it also increases maximum Cypher Text transfer count for its ult damage percent bonus from 30 to 40, meaning it now grants a total of 80% damage bonus to all allies at max stacks. It's pretty nutty, and this is a pretty good stopping point as well. His P2 increases critical damage bonus from Cypher Machine from 20 to 30%, as well as increasing the damage percent bonus granted by each stack of Cypher Text transferred by allies from 2% to 2.4%, increasing the maximum total damage bonus you can get from 80% at P0 to 96%, which isn't as big of a gain as P1 is over P0, but it's still something. P3 is a tiny damage bonus to his already negligible personal damage, and increases the damage percent bonus from each Cypher Text stack from 2.4% to 2.8%, meaning that you can now get a total of 112% of damage bonus from his ult at P2. At P3. His P4 is just a tiny bit of extra shield HP, which is definitely not needed, and you should only get this if you're planning to get P5 eventually. And finally, for his P5, it increases the incantation might under Pulsing Field level 3 from 0.4% per stack of dynamo for all allies to 0.6% per stack of dynamo, and increases the bonus reality damage per stack of dynamo from 6% to 8%. And no one really cares about the mental damage character since you're not gonna really care about playing mental damage characters with him. So this is pretty insane, as stated before, for like the reality damage characters, but it's definitely not needed, especially considering how much investment you need to get to this point in the first place. So again, my recommendation is either stopping at P0 or P1, but if you like him, then go for his portraits. It's not my account after all. As for his Psychubes, his signature Psychube is obviously going to be the best for him. It grants the team damage taken reduction and damage bonus, as well as having this attack substat, but it's really not that much stronger than the 6-star for 221, which also has attack percent substat, as well as grants critical damage to all allies, and grants himself healing done, which I know it says healing done, but it's technically also increases the shielding strength, so there's that. And so if you already have this for 221, Cracks in the Shell leveled up, I would just use that instead. You can also slap the Lopera Psychube on him if it's not already being used by like Charon or Ulrich for the team buffs, since it grants Incantation Might and Ultimate Might. And if you really don't have any of these Psychubes leveled up already and just want to use them as fast as possible, you can just use one with high base attack stats, like Nala Psychube with 390 base attack and attack percent substat. If you only really care about the shielding he provides, something like this would be really great, but I wouldn't recommend it. So in conclusion, I would 100% pull for Enigma, even if you don't have a Dynamo team, just like how I would recommend pulling Marsha even if you don't have a Lingering Glow team. He's just so universally strong that suggesting anything else would be stupid, and I'll just have gameplay with the Dynamo team play on the screen for the rest of this video's duration. Do keep in mind that my Dynamo team has a P2 Lucy and P1 Charon before you use my team as a benchmark though. Thanks for watching, have a nice rest of your day, and peace.
Doom awaits within. I'll handle the tech support.
Valid data.
Charon.
Cherish life. An accurate reading.
So obvious.
Barrage.
Schmerz betrifft.
Attack.
There is no end to this misery.
Just a crossword to solve.
Circuits functioning properly.
All right, time to crack.
Loading.
Doom awaits within. Sacrifice holds meaning only in its morning. Life is delicate and easily lost.
Befreie dich von den Grenzen des Geistes.
I, Robot, Child of Science.
Decode complete.
The light that illuminates all.
Vergossenes Blut für nichts.
Attack.
Betrifft die Toten nicht. Fleischwunde.
A perfect algorithm. One that can only...
Charging. Loading.
Computation check.
Enumeration's a last resort. But sometimes it can work a miracle.
Target confirmed. Faraday's miracle.
This one's hard to miss. Just a crossword to solve.
There is no end.
Charging. Loading.
Befreie dich von den Grenzen des Geistes.
Sacrifice holds meaning only in its morning. Life is delicate and easily lost.
Barrage. Eliminate target. Attack.
Betrifft die Toten nicht.
Alright, time to crack some codes.
Circuits functioning. Loading.
Computation check.
I'll handle the tech support. Encryption complete.
I, Robot, Child of Science. Aim and shoot.
Inherent defect captured.
An adequate sample. perfect algebra.
Just a crossword to solve.
Charging. Loading.
Enumeration is a last resort, but sometimes it can work a miracle.
Der Dreier von den Grenzen des Geistes.
Attack. Barrage. The light that illuminates all. Your visits are always unexpected.
Take a seat as you like.
To realize
But no touching of the
changed in
fires
the
and
back of my
paths
mind. Your eyes,
Guten Tag.
there ain't nowhere left to hide behind. Time no longer flew like it was when the flash froze everything
you've made it
before. Without you, I don't know if I could take this road. Every minute that I dive back in time, every single existence rewinds. Something